What's up, warrior? Welcome back to Daily Wisdom. We are in the middle of a 90-day growth campaign. And day by day, I'm giving you principles of wisdom to help you with your personal growth, with your life, with your business. And today, we're going to talk about a super important topic, which is called Don't Chase the Birds. Now, I wonder, do any of you struggle with staying focused? We're staying focused. I don't have ADHD. What's going on? Good morning. But many times I feel like I do, especially as an entrepreneur. This is how my attention span is. I'm the type of person that I get super excited about an idea, and then I start moving, and then I see, oh, here's a cool idea, and here's a cool idea, and oh, what about this? And what about this? Does anyone struggle with that? Put a me below if that's you. And it's so tough for me to stay on course many times, if I'm to be honest. Yes, a lot of shiny objects because I want to do it all. And I feel like I can. But the reality is that's not the case. The reality is we have to learn how to be people priority. The reality is we have to learn how to say no more than we do say yes. And the saying is don't chase the birds. Now, I got this from Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn, he has a great CD called Building Your Network Marketing Business, and he uses it in a different context. But I believe it's very, very relevant to where we're at, because in this phase of this 90-day growth campaign, we're in day 10, day 11 now. And we started with big desires and big goals and big dreams, and you start moving forward. And guess what? We talked about this in a previous day, but disruption always follows intention, right? It's just the way of the world. So especially during this phase, this is when it's so important to continue to keep your eyes on the prize and to not chase the birds, because the reality is this: they're always going to not just be there, but let me keep it real too. The more success that you get, the more birds there's going to be. Think about this. If you're someone like an Elon Musk, how many people in the world want to get his attention? How many news stations? How many business people? The entire world. So it's important, as we're growing in our influence and growing in your success and growing towards your goals, that we learn, how do I stay focused? And let me just make it very, very simple. It goes back down to, what is it that you put on your goals? True north is your major, major goal. Everything else is a distraction. So I want to ask you today, what is your number one goal right now? What is the God-sized dream? What is, as Bob Proctor says, your C-type goal? What is that? If time and money were not an issue and you knew you couldn't fail, what is success to you? Right? So for me, for example, I have to remember this because I love learning, and I'm sure you do too. That's why you're on this. I love learning. Like, the process of growing is just incredible because we're people of pretty much infinite capacity. But if I'm not careful, I get stuck in the learning hole. You know what I'm talking about? You get from one audio here and one podcast there and one book here, and you end up doing nothing with it. But for me, I have to go back to my true north, and I have very specific goals, but I have calls. For me, I know that God has a call in my life. I know that I'm meant to be an equipper of other people. I know for me, the things that are important is if I'm in a state of equipping and teaching and preaching and helping and coaching and mentoring, for me, those are the things that I'm called to do. Now, that might be different for you. For me, I know I have commitments to the warrior movement. For me, we have goals of producing $1 million a year earnings business. For me, I have goals of being able to expand our organization to hundreds and thousands large. I know the goals that are super crucial. You have to know what's crucial to you. And when I have that as the true north, and then opportunities come my way, the filter is actually quite easy. It isn't, what do I want to do? It's, what have I already decided upon are my priorities, and everything else, while it might sound cool, it's not for me in this season. You have to figure that out for you, warrior. What were the big goals that you started this whole campaign out on? What were the decisions that you had already made? Sometimes we have to redecide. Have you realized that? You make a decision and it's just getting one, and then you have to redecide as well too. Especially right now during a summer season, if you have kids or your family, or it's like this whole shift of seasons, it's so simple to get distracted. But at least for me, I have to go back to my first initial decisions. What are the goals? What are the priorities? What are the vehicles? You have to understand, if you're picking your business to build anything, the grass is greener wherever you water it. So I have my primary business vehicles that I am committed to right now. And there's a lot of things that I want to do. But I have current projects, and you do too, don't you? If you have a current priority in mind, your goal off the top of your head, put a 1 in the comments below. What is that thing that you've decided upon that must get done? And this is at least what helps me. I don't know if it helps you as well too. Is because I do want to do a lot of things. I have a lot of things I want to do. And you do too. I kind of use that as a carrot on the stick and say, it's kind of like if you've ever had kids and they want to eat candy, you kind of trick them. You say, well, eat your broccoli and your veggies first, and then you can get the candy. Have you done that before? I was a chubby kid, so I loved candy all the time. I'm like, all right, let me get through the thing that I don't exactly want right now, but I'm going to finish that so I can go get the candy. Almost like that with your goals. There are things up front, your veggies, that must get done. There's calls that need to be had. There's goals that need to be done. There's priorities that need to be done. And then you can go get to the candy on the other side. There we go, Rebecca. That's a big, big realization. Commitment is important. So keep your eyes on the vision, but keep your feet glued to the ground. And every day, I have to remind myself of this. If I don't get my daily priorities done, here's the fear, is that I only become a constant visionary and a constant dreamer, and I never become a doer. I never become an achiever. And I'm just preaching to myself here. Yeah, I had a moment in my life, I had to get real with myself. My wife got real with me. Like, I never want that reputation. That here was a person that dreamed a lot. Can you imagine your tomb? Here was a person that dreamed a lot, but she just stayed a dreamer. I don't want to be known for my dreams. I want to be known for what I did. How about you? That's what changes lives. What is done. What doesn't change it. Dreams are a dime a dozen. Dreams are easy to have. They're important to have. But the exciting thing is seeing the dream come into reality. And to do that, we have to stay focused. We have to not chase the birds. We have to carry out and finish. I end with this. My wife and I, we run a coaching group. And in this group, we were talking with the group. This was just yesterday. And my wife, she's an amazing coach. She's like a doer, right? I'm a dreamer. She's a doer. And she said this, I think she took it from Fraser Brooks, is that dreaming doesn't pay, but finishing does. And it's like, oh, isn't that true? Finishing pays. So today, just a reminder, as we're going through these seasons, don't chase the birds of distractions. Don't chase the birds of many different opportunities. Keep your eyes on what it is that needs to be finished right now in this season. and double down on those efforts and think today, what must be finished? It is simple, right? So if you have some inspired thoughts today, if you have some ideas of things that need to be finished today, that phone call that needs to be made, that post that needs to be made, that recruit that needs to be done, that customer needs to be had, that decision that needs to be made, if you have something in mind, put a 10 in the comments below and take immediate action on that and keep on doing that. One step at a time, you'll look back not too long in this 90-day period. You'll look back like, whoa, my gosh, look at everything that was done. Well, it's because it's what you did right now and what you did today. All right, warrior. Hope that was helpful. Keep it simple. Exactly. Tomorrow we'll conclude this week with these daily wisdoms. Hopefully they're helpful. If they are, subscribe, share this, go to my YouTube, all that type of stuff as well. Tag a teammate on this if you think this is a message that they need, by the way. And that, let's crush the rest of today. Warrior out.